Well, good afternoon from Eindhoven. This is the second part of our Eindhoven Helmond video. Now we are going to the prehistorical village. They also have employees who just act as Neanderthals and people from prehistoric times. So we are quite curious about how it will look like, how it will be. So, well, this is the map of the village. We are here, there. So if we go through here, you know, it looks pretty big. So it's good that we didn't go to the Van Museum. So you can see the normal entrance is 11.50, but we are paying nothing because we bought the museum card that gives us access to this place and many other museums. So we got in. As we discovered, it's quite an interactive museum. Like you are allowed to participate in several activities, like making bread. They named many different activities, and I asked if we can film the workers, the staff here, and they said, yeah, no problem, just make sure to not film like the visitors directly. So that's what we are gonna try to do. But it feels as if we are in another century or something. Everything, it smells like smoke, yeah. So you see, it looks like another century or even another millennium. This is like being at Asterix and Obelix. So this is everything that you can do here if you come here. Many activities. You can throw spears, make music, so many activities. You could spend a whole day here, but we don't have that because we also wanted to visit Helmond. Kinda gives me Valhalla vibes. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They even have these furs to sit on the benches and these kind of tables and the throne for the king. What was it called? I don't remember. The king of the Vikings. Well, so we discovered one of the possible activities that you can make, which is wires like these with a hammer, and this looks interesting. They do not only have the toilet for men and women, they also have a shower. And here you have beautiful paths to walk on. Wow, and you can go on a canoe or something. That's, well, no, it's flooded. Okay. So we're gonna try something interesting, which is to cross that part of the pond. You basically untie this rope and then you pull on that rope all the way until you get over there. So, well, that was an interesting experience. I discovered that I get dizzy on boats, like my wife, so going on a cruise ship is not a great idea, and we stink heavily because it was sprinkling some dirty water that was a bit smelly and dirty, so we might want to go to a toilet to wash ourselves a bit. So more houses, huts. I think we are entering the Roman times. Let's see. So you can see they are decorated on the inside. I think you can also go inside, maybe? No, it has a lock. Okay. So people would sleep here on the bed, and here was the kitchen. Here was where they would eat. Yeah, and that was basically a home, although many people lived together in the same home. They also had sculptures, decoration. There are less spiders here than in our apartment. They also have a garden with mint and beans over there, elderberry, lavender, great against spiders. Yeah, many other plants, cilantro, Bieslook in Dutch.
This is what they give sometimes to animals to calm them down. It's natural, it's sedative.
Yeah. So we are here, the kind of, this is with kind of tombs and stuff. They also make activities like swords, or not sure, but some kind of activity. And here we have now I get it. So they are making arrows to throw at this target. So apparently they make spears that they can throw at that pig. I'm gonna try my luck, but I'm a city boy, so let's see. Yeah, I missed it. My wife is throwing from closer, but yeah, a bit messy. So now we are building a small house. Yeah, let's see how it turns out. Well, it's a type of house, of course. It's missing the roof and stuff, but we did our best with what we have here. So I think we are done with the prehistoric museum, the prehistoric village. Now we're gonna go to Helmond, that has a castle that closes in 2 hours, but the last entrance might be in 1.5 hours. It's 20 minutes away from here with the car, so we do need to hurry up a bit. But yeah, it was nice here at this prehistoric village. If you have kids and you want to do many activities, like we couldn't bake bread because we had to wait in line. We couldn't do the pottery thing because we also had to wait in line. So in the end we didn't do anything, but we just checked it out, and it looks, I mean, it's a very beautiful village. So, and just like that, we are in Helmond. As you can see, residential area where we parked, free parking. Now we are going to the Museum of Helmond, which is a castle basically. So we thought it looks beautiful, let's check it out. So this is an interesting neighborhood here in Helmond. It's in the form of a circle. Yeah, it's A bit like in North Korea somehow. Everyone being able to look at each other. Ah, yeah, it might be elderly housing, yeah. And yeah, over there is a river. Sorry for not naming the river, but we did not do any research beforehand. Yeah, so just a second, like I said, this is the river, and over here we have the entrance to the park belonging to the museum, to the castle museum. Yeah, let's see what awaits us. So you can already see there, that's the castle, and this is a park. That's the castle. Yeah, this is the museum basically. Museum and castle. That's how it looks. Beautiful. There we are. This is another great museum for kids. You have many games and many activities for kids, for people who like to play. Here it says the rules of the game, and here's a table where you can play with those kind of figures, wooden figures. Yeah, and like that they also learn about the Middle Ages. Pretty interactive learning. Oh, okay. So this is what they ate in the Middle Ages. A lot of bread and beer. So they would eat beans, yeah? Beans and bread. Okay. And finally, ham. Perfect. So, and about life in the castle for women and children. The most important task of the wife in the past was bringing forth descendants, of whom at least one son, because that son would inherit the castle and everything, also the dynasty would go on. It is also the responsibility of the woman to ensure that the household of the castle runs smoothly. If she has any spare time, then she will spend it reading her prayer book, doing fancy work, making music or dancing. Her children are prepared for a life as maiden or knight. That's why boys were taught to use swords, how to fight and so on, whereas girls were taught how to embroider, make music and other more girly things in the eyes of, the middle-aged people. They do not attend school in the city, but rather are homeschooled in the castle. So homeschooling is a very old practice of teaching. As we are learning here, it was really common to have mistresses, so women that they are not married to, but that they have a sexual relationship with. So in the case of Jan III van Berlaer, he had 8 mistresses, so 8 women outside of his own wife, with whom he had sex, so with whom he had a relationship with. That's pretty crazy to believe nowadays. Yeah, and about what they ate, what they drank. The Lord and his family ate very well. The meal normally consisted of a large number of sweet, salty, sour, hot and cold dishes. The taste buds are stimulated as much as possible, so they wanted to mix everything as much as possible to stimulate and to kind of excite their own taste as much as it was possible. Now, for that, the chef had to use very exotic and often costly seasonings such as saffron, pepper, nutmeg, cinnamon and ginger to the dishes. in addition to green herbs from the castle's herb garden. They also ate a lot of meat, but mostly, like, what they ate most is bread. So especially the lower employees, they ate bread with wine and mead, which is a kind of honey wine, yeah. And the others, servants, laborers, and so on, they had to fight for the leftovers together with the dogs. So they had a very different lifestyle. So something else that we learned here is that in the past, if you misbehaved, they did something to you which, according to them, was worse than even going to a jail, which is sending you off on a pilgrimage. So yeah, so they said you have to go to Santiago de Compostela, Rome, Jerusalem, and you had to do it. And there were many dangers like thieves and wolves and wild animals. So it was a very difficult journey. And an interesting fact is that during the 80 Years' War, which was between basically the Protestant provinces of the north of the Netherlands with the King Willem van Oranje, and the south of the Netherlands, which was with Philip II of Spain, the castle remained kind of loyal to the Spanish king, so to the Spanish rule here, and they were besieged by Protestants and also attacked during that war. So there's a family who still lives in this castle, and they put these benches, sofas and furniture for people to see and also to sit down. And it's possible that part of the castle they might close it whenever they want to do some private activities, which I can understand. Well, that was the castle of Helmond. It was quite beautiful. Also had a lot of activities, lots of things to do. We've learned a lot about medieval history and about how people used to live in a castle. So will we recommend it? I think so, yeah. And what are we gonna do now? It's 5 o'clock, 4:45, so maybe we check out the center of Helmond. So, and that over there is the Saint Lambert or Saint Lambertus Church. It's a Catholic church, and after the 80-year war, the Catholic priest was banned from the church, and the church was taken over by the Protestant, by the new Protestant government. And we didn't know this, but apparently Helmond is the fifth biggest city in North Brabant, in this province, and it has 90-something thousand inhabitants, 91,000 inhabitants, something like that. It was an industrial city with the textile industry playing a major role, and yeah, nowadays it's still quite industrial with some factories, and well, now they also have tourism and services, the service economy. So we ordered something at an Indonesian restaurant here to take away, because we don't want to eat at the restaurant, we might already go home. It was $12.50 for both, which is quite cheap, but it's very typical from both Chinese and Indonesian restaurants here in the Netherlands that they are usually cheaper and they give a lot. So this is how it looks. The chicken with broccoli looks a bit, well, I think it's, okay, well, maybe it's a bit sad, but yeah. And this is a kind of biscuit that they always give, a kind of bread and sauces and stuff. Yeah, pretty nice. And if you want to come to Helmond and you like shopping, we do need to tell that it has quite a large shopping street, so you will not get bored here, but possibly your children and husband will. Well, we now just got an ice cream at an Italian shop called Il Borgo, and I got a piece of cake, but that's as a dessert for home, because I'm gonna eat my food at home. But yeah, it was $6.20 for everything, a bit expensive, but it's the Netherlands. Well, at least it's very good quality, like my wife is saying. Is it the best ice cream you've ever had?
No.
No, the best one was Candace, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like that I can put a card to the video.
Alright.
Yeah.
But it's very good.
It's very good, yeah. That's nice. I mean, for that price, it better be good. No, just joking. Just one more footage of our mansion that we had to sell, but yeah, nice to come here to Helmond to visit it from time to time. So, well, that was our day today. We visited Eindhoven with two museums, the Philips Museum and the Duff Museum. So, talking about the industrial history of Eindhoven, or of this region in North Brabant. Then we went to the prehistoric village, and now we are in Helmond, where we visited the castle, which is the main attraction of this city. And yeah, now we are going to the car. I think we will already say goodbye. See you next time in our next province capital, city of the Netherlands, city of Germany, Belgium, who knows.